Actually, we've been receiving a series of complaint emails from customers recently. They're about the attitude of one of our male staff members. Do you have any idea who it might be? I think it's about Tom. I've heard from customers several times that Tom's attitude is poor. Moreover, he still hasn't fully learned the job and keeps making mistakes. Perhaps it's because of his age. Isn't this too challenging for him? So, that's the situation. I'm sorry, but we can't keep an employee who is causing these problems. Tom will have to leave as of today. Even after retiring, I thought I could still be active, but maybe it's time to retire. Is that so? I understand. Thank you for everything you've done for me. The next day, I got a call from Mia. It's terrible, Tom. None of our regular customers are coming in. Johnson and the manager are panicking, wondering what's going on. It's a mess. What? Why is that happening? What should we do? My name is Tom, and I'm 66 years old. I've retired from my job and live with my wife. Our children are independent, and we also have 3 grandchildren. Before retiring, I worked as a salesman for a housing company. In my younger days, I was so engrossed in work that I was always at the top in sales performance, leaving the childcare and household chores entirely to my wife, Mary. Now, I want to cherish the time I spend with my wife as a way of giving back, even a little, for those times. I'm helping with the unfamiliar household chores and enjoying our common hobby of golf, living a happy life. However, I feel like something's missing each and every day. After spending decades dedicating myself to work, the desire to keep pushing on as if I'm still in my prime surges up now that I'm without a job. One day, I decided to open up to my wife about it. She immediately agreed to let me work again. Why not? Why don't you give it another try? I love seeing you work hard, Tom, she said, smiling brightly. Thank you. All right. Maybe I'll give it another shot then. That very day, I started looking for job opportunities. I wondered if there were any places that would hire someone my age. If I could still handle working at all. I was nothing but anxious, but luckily, I soon found a place that would hire me. It was a cafe, not very large, but it had 2 locations. It's a traditional shop that prides itself on brewing coffee using a siphon, and it's well regarded for that. The cakes are also popular, and my wife is a fan of this place. Having sales experience and thinking I could handle a service job, I thought I might be able to do it. I'm not much for sweets, but I do love and have a passion for coffee myself. I definitely wanted to give it a try. When I told my wife I got the job, she was as happy as if it were her own accomplishment. That's wonderful. You always pull through. A cafe worker, huh? That sounds exciting. I wonder if you'll wear a cool uniform. Hey, it's not you who's working, you know? You seem even more excited than I am. As we engaged in such conversation, we were excited as ever about our new beginnings. On the first day at work, as I reached the storefront, my feet froze. I hadn't felt this nervous since my days as a new recruit. It was somewhat pleasing to realize that I still had the capacity for such fresh feelings. Upon entering the store, I approached a girl who appeared to be an employee. Sorry to bother you during your busy time. I'm starting here today, my name is Tom. Oh. You're Tom. I've been informed about you. My name is Mia, just a part-timer. Pleased to meet you. I'll take you to the office, this way please. She was a bright and amiable young lady. Seeing Mia's cheerful smile, I felt my nerves start to ease. Following Mia, I was led to a cramped office. The desk was cluttered with a computer, files, documents, half-drunk bottles of water, and various other items. There's a time clock at the entrance. So please punch in first thing when you arrive. After that, there are lockers in the back, so change into your uniform there. The manager will be here shortly, so please take a seat in that chair and wait. I'll be going back to the floor now. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. With that, she gave me a bright smile, and I found myself warming up to her even more. Before long, the manager came into the office. Good morning. Tom, I'm looking forward to working with you starting today. I quickly stood up and greeted him. Good morning. Likewise, I'm looking forward to working with you. I'll be doing administrative work, so I'll mostly be here. For anything related to the floor, please learn from Mia, the part-timer. Also, Johnson, who will be arriving soon, is the lead on the floor, so he can answer any questions you have. Understood. Well then, please head to the floor and give it your best. With that, I returned to the floor with a nervous heart and greeted the few part-timers who were already there. First off, I was to learn from the menu, and Mia began explaining it to me one item at a time. While she was teaching me, a man came over and lazily said, "Hello everyone." "Hello boss. This is Tom, who started working with us today." Mia introduced me. It seems that this person is Johnson, who the manager was talking about earlier. "Nice to meet you, my name is Tom. I look forward to working with you." As I bowed, Johnson immediately made a puzzled face. "What? They hired an old man. Can this senior even be useful? Give me a break." Ignoring my greeting, instead throwing those words right off the bat, I was stunned. What a rude man. "Hey, come on. We're just going over the menu right now. He'll be fine as he learns it bit by bit." Mia cheerfully brushed it off. Her kindness was a real lifeline for me. "Yes, I'll do my best to learn the job, so please be patient with me." Saying that, I bowed again. "Humph. You're probably slow at picking things up by now. Just don't cause any trouble for me. This isn't a nursing home." With that dismissive remark, Johnson disappeared back into the office. Please don't take it too hard. Johnson sometimes says unpleasant things like that. Mia said this with a wry smile, looking a bit awkward. "I see. Let's work hard together." "Thank you, Mia." After that, I spent some time being taught about the menu, and then I received a lesson on how to brew coffee using a siphon. This turned out to be quite difficult, and no matter how many times I tried, I couldn't grasp the knack for making delicious coffee. But it's a signature item here. I must master it. Sensing my anxiety, Mia reassured me, "It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes in the beginning." "Thank you. I guess I need to practice a lot more." As I responded with a wry smile, Johnson approached with a sneering look. "Come on, old man, how bad can you be? We need you to pick this up quickly. We don't have time for a practice." Yes. But I also made a lot of mistakes at the beginning. You'll learn as you go. Quit your whining and get good at making decent coffee quickly. Or else you're out. I never wanted an old-timer here in the first place. They're just not cut out for this. It seems Johnson just can't stand the fact that I'm older. There's nothing I can do about my age, but I have my pride too. I won't let some youngster mock me. I'll learn the job as quickly as possible and show him. That was my determination. While I was at it, the manager called me into the office. "Lunch breaks are rotated, so Tom, you go ahead and have your lunch first." Understood. Sitting in the office chair and taking a breather, I suddenly felt a wave of fatigue hit me. I hadn't noticed it while working, but my legs were quite tired too. Standing work is indeed tough. No, what am I doing showing weakness on the first day? Mia is working hard to teach me, so I've got to do my best. With that pep talk, I started eating the lunch my wife had made for me. The familiar taste was comforting, both to my hungry stomach and my tense heart. After the break, I continued to practice making coffee over and over in the afternoon. And so, my long first day of part-time work came to an end. When I got home, my wife greeted me with a worried look. "How was the part-time job? Were you okay?" "Yeah, I managed to get through it." Man, standing work after such a long time was tough. I need to make sure to get in some golf practice on my days off to build up my stamina. Right. I'll join you. My wife smiled. 3 months have passed since I started the part-time job, and I've gotten used to the work. I've become good enough at making coffee that I can serve it to customers. Most of the customers who come in are regulars, and I've been able to remember their faces, names, and their usual orders. Many of the regulars sit at the counter. I often find myself making coffee with the siphon while chatting with the customers. Having previously worked in sales, I prided myself on being good at communicating with customers. From the elderly to office workers at lunchtime, housewives, and students, a variety of customers visit, and chatting with them is one of the enjoyable parts of the job. The customers have started to affectionately call me Tom or Old Tom, and even confide in me with their various concerns. One day, I was responsible for a new customer's table but accidentally delivered the wrong order. "Excuse me, this isn't what I ordered." I'm terribly sorry. I'll have it remade right away, just a moment. As I hurriedly took back the mistaken order, Johnson was waiting for me, looking furious. Hey. Old man. What are you doing? Are you losing your mind? As a punishment, you'll have to manage the entire floor by yourself now. And if you make another mistake, you're out. I'll tell the manager that your mistakes are causing trouble for everyone here. Got it. That day happened to be one where all other part-timers except for me were off, leaving just Johnson and me on shift. True to his word. From then on, he constantly stayed out of sight at the corner of the counter, fiddling with his smartphone and not doing any work. He only pretended to be working when the manager occasionally showed up on the floor. I was incredibly frustrated. A mistake once in a while can happen to anyone. Why should I be the only one to receive such treatment? I resolved to get through my work without any mistakes. With determination, I also made sure to provide polite customer service while efficiently getting the job done. And so, I managed to get through to the end without any mistakes. When it was time to close, I approached Johnson. Everything went smoothly. May I leave for today? Humph. I'll let it slide this time. But remember, there won't be a next time. Acting all high and mighty when he's not even the manager. I grumbled to myself as I headed home. From then on, whenever it was just the two of us, Johnson found reasons to slack off, dumping his work on me. You should be grateful an old-timer like you gets to work at all. If you don't stay active, you'll lose your mind. That's why I'm giving you work. You better be thankful. The cafe, with its limited seating, is relatively laid back, but even so, lunchtime can be overwhelming to handle alone. Being burdened with work and constantly berated, my days became increasingly filled with exhaustion and stress. I considered talking to the manager, but my pride kept me from admitting defeat to a younger employee. Tom, you seem really tired lately, are you okay? You don't seem to have much appetite either. Are you pushing yourself too hard with the part-time job? Don't overdo it. Your health is more important. I'm fine, no need to worry. Not wanting to worry my wife, I tried to appear as energetic as possible. One morning, as soon as I arrived at work, I was called by the manager. Tom, Johnson, I need to talk to both of you. Yes, what is it? Actually, we've been receiving a series of complaint emails from customers lately. They're about the customer service of a male staff member. Do you have any idea who that might be? As the manager said this, Johnson quickly spoke up. I believe it's about Tom. I've had a few customers mention that Tom's customer service attitude was poor. I couldn't believe my ears. This was the first time I'd heard such a thing. Furthermore, he still hasn't fully learned his job and keeps making mistakes. I've repeated warnings and guidance. But there's no improvement. Perhaps, it's due to his age, it might be too challenging for him. I couldn't believe what Johnson was saying. At the counter, my conversations with the regulars were always lively, and I intended to be polite to all other customers as well. Why then? The mistake at work was supposed to be just that one time. So that's how it is. I'm sorry, but we can't keep an employee who behaves like this any longer. Tom, I'm going to have to ask you to leave after today. I wanted to argue with the manager, but I held back. I had thought I was doing well with customer service, but maybe it was all just arrogance. Even after retiring, I thought I could still actively contribute. But perhaps it's time to retire for good. My confidence rapidly diminished, and I found myself unable to say anything. So that's how it is. Understood. Thank you for everything up until now. I gathered my belongings from the locker and went to say goodbye to the part-timers. After finishing all the necessary tasks, I punched out for the last time and left the cafe. On my way home, I felt as if all hope in life had been cut off, and tears blurred my vision. When I got home, my wife was surprised to see me back early and came to the entrance to greet me. What happened? Did you leave early? Are you feeling unwell? I quit. I couldn't bring myself to say I was fired, but being as perceptive as she is, my wife might have guessed it. However, what she said next was completely unexpected. Thank you for quitting your part-time job. Huh. I was really worried about how exhausted you've been lately. I didn't want you to have to work that hard anymore. Let's spend our time together more leisurely, shall we? Yeah, thank you. Even though I agreed, I felt as if there was a gaping hole in my heart. The next day, I received a message from Mia on my phone. Tom, it's serious. None of our regulars have come in today. Johnson and the manager are freaking out, wondering what's going on. It's a mess. What? Why is that happening? What could it be? Remember, you posted a farewell message on the staff blog yesterday. It must be because they read that. Some customers have commented that they don't want to come if you're not there. That's why I think the others are staying away too. I see. Also, it seems like the owner is coming to the shop. It's unusual, so we're wondering what's up. The manager and Johnson are panicking, with no customers coming in and the owner suddenly visiting. Tom, can I contact you again if something else happens? Yeah, I understand. It must be tough, but hang in there. Thank you. I'm sorry to bother you when you've already left. I just feel a bit lost. It's okay, you can always get in touch with me. Hearing Mia's story, I was beside myself with worry. The regulars not coming in was troubling. But there was nothing I could do anymore. A few hours later, I got a call from the manager. Hello, Tom. I'm sorry to bother you on your day off. Is now a good time to talk? Yes, it's fine. I'm really sorry to ask, but could you possibly come to the shop now? What happened? Is there a problem? I'd like to discuss the details in person if possible. Understood. I'll head over now. I wasn't sure what was going on, but it had something to do with what Mia had mentioned. So, I decided to go anyway. Upon arriving at the shop, I ran into the owner right at the entrance. Tom, long time no see. I just got here myself. I'm the one who called you. Sorry for the sudden request. Let's go to the office and talk. As I entered the office, the manager and Johnson were already seated, waiting. Thank you for your hard work, sir. The two stood up and bowed their heads. Everyone, please take a seat. I gathered you here today because I have something to discuss. A regular customer and acquaintance of mine got in touch. Why did Tom leave? After reading his blog, I decided to stop coming, he told me. I was shocked because I had no idea. That's why I came to hear the situation. What's going on? Well, it's just. There were numerous complaints about Tom's customer service. Moreover, he was making too many mistakes at work. So, we had to let him go. Fool. Did you even check properly? Tom was originally our top salesman. It's impossible for someone like him to be rude to customers. Plus, he's a friend of mine. I know his character better than anyone, he's not someone who would receive complaints. Is that so? I thought that you had just interviewed and hired him like usual. Indeed, it was thanks to the owner that I could work at the cafe. I met him at the golf range my wife and I frequent. He and his wife were regulars there too, and the four of us hit it off, even going out for meals together. It all started when I casually mentioned to the owner that I was thinking of getting back to work. And he offered me a job at his store. However, Johnson, who I've entrusted with the floor, reported to me multiple times that despite guidance, Tom's customer service attitude wasn't improving. The manager looked down, his voice getting softer. Hearing this, the owner glared at Johnson sharply. What's the meaning of this, Johnson? Well, I mean. Johnson stuttered, unable to speak clearly. Well, never mind. Bring one of the part-time staff here now. I want to hear the real story. Hurry up. Yes, understood. The manager hurried out to the floor and returned with Mia. Excuse me. Good to see you. With a very anxious expression, Mia cautiously entered the office. Mia. Sorry to bother you during a busy time. There's something I'd like to ask. Could you sit down over there? Yes. Actually, I've heard there have been a lot of complaints about Tom's customer service. What do you think about that? Mia's eyes widened in surprise. That's absolutely impossible. Mia, who had seemed anxious, replied with confidence. Tom was very popular among our regular customers and always had lively conversations at the counter. He was extremely kind to new customers, too, so much so that we younger staff looked up to him as a role model. Is that so? From what you've seen, who do you think the complaints were about, then? You can be honest, I've got your back, so you're safe. Well, I have seen customers caution Johnson a few times about his poor service. I see. And is it true that Tom was not good at his job? Absolutely not. On the contrary, Tom's coffee was renowned for being the best. That's why, with his personality and his coffee both being so popular, when he left, customers stopped coming. I see. Thank you for telling me this, Mia. If there's anything else you'd like to report, feel free to speak up. You can say anything. Thank you. Since you said you'd protect me, I'll tell you everything. Johnson always slacked off and dumped his work on us part-timers. He badmouthed Tom, calling him old and useless, saying an old man like that couldn't do the job. What are you saying, Mia? Johnson tried to interrupt him in panic, but I told the owner that it was all true. What Mia is saying is true. Almost every day, Johnson would hurl terrible insults and do no work himself, leaving everything to me. He said old people need to work or they'll go senile, right, Johnson? I thought I was doing a good thing by saying that. He tried desperately to make excuses, but they weren't convincing. Johnson. Tom and I are the same age. Are you saying I'm useless too? The owner peered at Johnson's face with a sly smile. That is. Johnson froze, barely able to make a sound. Johnson, you've not only made false reports, but you've also neglected your duties and verbally abused your subordinates. It's clear now who really should be let go, and who is truly needed in this store. But, wait. Please, not firing. I'm sorry. I apologize, please forgive me. Apologizing isn't enough, Johnson. You're fundamentally in the wrong. You lack respect for elders, care for customers, and teamwork with colleagues. We don't need someone like that in our store. No matter your excuses, you're fired. And you, manager, you're also responsible. Make sure to supervise the floor more carefully from now on. Yes, I'm very sorry. The manager bowed deeply. Beside him, Johnson looked on the verge of tears. So, I have a favor to ask, Tom. Would you come back to work at the shop starting tomorrow? We need you here. Mia. The other employees, and more than anyone, our customers are waiting for your return. Please. I want to work with Tom again. Thank you, I'm grateful to hear that. I'd be pleased to come back and work with you all once again. Mia beamed with a broad smile upon hearing my words. After finishing our discussion, I posted about my return to the staff blog before heading home. When I went to work the next day, the manager offered me the position of part-time leader, asking for my support in the shop. Could you teach the younger staff your customer service techniques and how to make coffee? Please. Of course, if you think I can be of help. As usual, when I was standing at the counter, familiar faces started coming into the shop one after another. You came back. Don't you ever leave again. I come here for the coffee Tom makes. That's right. My daily joy is coming here to have those pointless chats with Tom. Same here, without Tom, I'd have no one to talk to about work. The counter was enveloped in laughter as everyone spoke. After returning home, I told my wife about the warm welcome from the customers and being promoted to part-time leader. You really are all about your work, aren't you, Tom? But I'm happy to see you working happily like that. I'll keep supporting you. Just make sure to take care of yourself. And keep it up. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. There was a time when I almost gave up, thinking there was no hope left in life, but here I am, surrounded by people who need me. I want to continue seeing the smiles of my wife and customers, meeting their expectations.